can't be on today for sure. And they will be watching. Bienvenidos a todos. Bienvenidos. ¿Cómo están ustedes? How are you guys? Bien, muy bien. Okay, vale, bien. I had the question last week. Why do I use ¿Cómo están ustedes? Because when I'm talking to you, I'm seeing all of you. And the only thing that makes sense, I can't say ¿Cómo estás? Or ¿Cómo está? Because I see a bunch of faces, so it has to be ¿Cómo están? ¿Cómo están? You know, if you're talking to me individually, then, you know, tú is fine. But, okay, ¿qué vamos a hacer? Today is going to be kind of a real roll. I want to try to portion out a little bit of time for everything, you know, about maybe 15 minutes for numbers. I'm going to try to keep myself on a schedule. About 15 minutes for numbers. We're going to work both ser and estar quite a lot with some photo prompts and a little bit of video. We're going to bring in that verb tener. You're going to see how it's used, not just for having as an owning, but with a lot of idiomatic phrases, which means things you can't translate literally, that sound goofy, but they make a lot of sense for daily communication that's important. You know, how to tell people that you're hungry, you're thirsty. Tener is used for a lot of stuff that won't make sense if you say, well, but it means to have. And do a little bit of review on la casa. You know, la casa. I had you read chapter 4. Is there anything first? I should start here first. Is there anything from here that in chapter 4 that didn't make sense to you or felt kind of weird, or, you know, you just have a question about something they said in the book in that chapter 4? I mean, aside from practicing, because we have to internalize it, but was there any kind of little structure or other thing that looked strange, or you had a question? I want to clear that up if that happens.
Just page 52 through 66.
The whole chapter.
I gotta get all the way down there. 52 to 56, yeah, see.
Oh, 66.
66. 66, 66?
Oh, I'm teasing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. So basically, we're going to be working a lot with how to say that you have something. And knowing certain phrases that tener will use that won't mean have literally, but they'll talk about actually physical sensations or feelings that you have. And then using estar. And again, estar is how you feel or where you are. Always use the verb estar, all of that. Okay, so all those verbs are going to kind of start to interconnect. I want to start first. I am going to have you do a little introduction. So I'd like to do that first. Did anybody prepare a little introduction? And I'll start with mine.
Sí.
I'll start with mine. Me llamo Marilyn. Soy de Michigan. Originalmente, soy de Michigan. Soy de todos que son de Michigan. Everybody who's from Michigan does this. If you know anybody from Michigan, and I don't know how you're seeing it. I don't know how you're seeing it because I know it flips, right? See, sí, soy de aquí. I'm from here. Sí, es fácil, ¿no? Soy de Michigan. Soy también de Chicago. Más tarde, later. Soy maestra y soy madre. Soy madre de 2 hijos. ¿Bien? Pero ahora estoy en Fountain Hills. Estoy en Fountain Hills. No estoy en Scottsdale. Estoy en Fountain Hills. Bien? Okay. Who's ready to tell me a little bit of something? Do a little intro.
I will.
Okay.
Noreen. Soy Noreen. Soy de Chicago.
¿Dónde en Chicago? ¿Dónde? Where? ¿Dónde en Chicago?
well, let's see, northwest side. I don't know how to say that.
El noroeste. El noroeste. Yo también. Glenview. Northbrook. Des Plaines.
City.
Ok, continúa. Bien, perdón.
Okay.
Keep going.
Soy retira de ventas de pharmaceuticals.
Okay. I'm going to show you how to say retired. Because likely if you looked this up, it will give you a different word, which does mean retired in a different sense.
Jubilado.
Jubilado.
Jubila.
Think of Jubilee.
Yeah.
Think of Jubilee. Yeah, okay, you can relate to that. Jubilado. If you're a lady, however, we're going to use that other form. Jubilada. Soy jubilada. I'm a retired person. Female. Soy jubilado. I'm a retired guy. Now you can also say estoy jubilada. I am retired, meaning that's your state. But if you use it with soy, it means I am a retired person versus I am retired. Okay?
So soy, for a woman, it's soy jubilada.
Jubilada, perfecto.
Jubilada. Soy jubilada de ventas de pharmaceuticals.
Ventas farmacéuticas. Pharmaceutical sales. Muy bien. Vale. Excelente. Okay. ¿Es todo? That's everything?
That's
This
everything.
is short. This is short, right? Okay. ¿Quién más? Who's got something else?
Okay.
Pamela?
Okay.
Oh, go ahead.
It's okay. Por favor.
Okay, Danita, you want to go? Go ahead, Danita.
Hola, bienvenido. Me llamo Danita. Soy de Sudáfrica e Israel.
Ooh.
Soy enferma de hospital en estudié engineering.
Oh, okay.
Studied, never
Okay.
worked.
Engineering. Okay. Es difícil.
No,
Ingeniero is engineer.
Studied.
Dime en inglés. Tell me in English exactly how that goes, because sometimes it may be.
I studied. I never worked in it. I studied.
Oh, okay. 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 Muy bien. Okay, so you truly do want engineering. Ingeniería.
Ingeniero.
And I'll spell it for it
Oh.
because ingeniería. I want to make sure I've got my accent marks plugged in. Es difícil. Wow, that's a hard word.
Ingeniería.
Ingeniería. Muy bien. Muy bien, Danita. Sí,
Estoy en
ingeniería.
Scottsdale.
Estoy en Scottsdale. I am in Scottsdale. Muy bien. Ok, vale. Gracias, muchas gracias. Bueno, Pam, ¿tienes algo?
Oh, soy Pamela. Soy de Nuevo York, Ciudad. Soy bibliotecario jubilado. Jubilada.
Okay. Bibliotecaria. And again, you're going to use the feminine form. Bibliotecaria looks like Bible, and it almost is. Because that word, biblio, it means librarian. Biblioteca is library. Bibliotecaria is a person who works in a library. Bibliotecaria, so I'm going to put a retired librarian, okay? Bibliotecaria jubilada. Aren't we getting long words today? Biblio, but you know, split it apart, split the syllables apart. Bibliotecaria. Think of it as a tech person in biblios, yeah? Bibliotecaria jubilada, retired librarian. I'm going to show you something else. When we say New York City, la ciudad de Nueva York. And I really should capitalize the C on ciudad, but la ciudad de Nueva York, ciudad de Nueva York. Right. So where we say New York City, they'll say city of New York. La ciudad de Nueva York. Okay. Or just Nueva York. People understand just Nueva York too. Okay. Magnífico. Y estás en Scottsdale, ¿no?
Sí.
Estás en Scottsdale. ¿Verdad? Right? You're in Scottsdale right now?
Sí.
Okay. Bien. Muy bien. Vale. Gracias. Bueno, ¿alguien más? Anybody else got something they want to share? Nisha, dinos, por favor.
Me llamo Nisha. Soy de India. Estoy en Scottsdale, Arizona. Soy madre de 2 hijos. I copied that from you, Marilyn.
Muy bien. Está bien copiar. It's okay to copy. You're not copying. You're following a pattern.
There you go. And soy director del programa.
Okay, bien. Okay, vale. One kind of interesting thing I'm going to show you. We usually use La India. There are not too many geographic countries where we use an el or a la in front of it. But there are a few, and India is one of them. La India. Soy de la India. Soy de la India. Okay. So another one would be La Argentina. Often they use la with Argentina. Some people are starting to skip it now. I think someday they may drop it, but at this point they're still using it. La India is still very widely used. El Peru. Quite often with Peru, it's El Peru. Interesting with Estados Unidos, United States, people will either say it as Los Estados Unidos or again, sometimes it's common for some people to drop the los because they feel like it. Because it's shorter, probably, you know. Maybe that's why it doesn't get dropped from La India very often, because that's a short word. But Estados Unidos is already pretty long. So sometimes people drop the los and just say Estados Unidos. Soy de Estados Unidos and soy de los Estados Unidos. Son iguales, they're the same. Yeah? So just know, most countries, or a huge number of countries, we don't use an el or a la with it, but some, and you just get to know it by using it and hearing it. Okay, ¿alguien más? Anybody else? David.
Me llamo is David. Soy de Montana. Soy un jubileo. I just got this word today.
That's okay.
Soy un jubilito corredor de bolsa. Estoy de Scottsdale.
Oh, de bolsa, stocks.
Sí.
Stocks? Ah, bien. La bolsa. La bolsa, bolsa is used for like a purse, a bag, but bolsa is used for stock exchange. And that word gets morphed a lot. You know, it's not terribly different when you go into the French. It's not terribly different when you even go into the German. I don't know. No sé por qué. I don't know why, but sí. Bien. Muy bien. Okay, I want to show you one thing we're going to work on a little bit. When we use our name, me llamo, and your name, me llamo David, me llamo Juan, me llamo Larry, me llamo Danita, right? We often tend to want to do this. Me llamo es, and we can't do that. We can't stick the word es in there.
Oh.
Me llamo es. And the reason you're doing that is because your brain is thinking in English, my name is, ow, and that is, yeah, okay. So here's one thing you want to avoid, cut the S, just me llamo, just me llamo, and I'll put that up, only that. And notice, it's always me llamo. That llamo is not a feminine, masculine thing. The me llamo is part of a verb. Verbs in Spanish can never be masculine or feminine. Things can be masculine, feminine. El libro, la taza, okay? El lápiz. Things can be masculine, feminine. But when you see llamo and an O at the end, that O at the end of llamo does not mean masculine because it's a verb. That O means yo. That O means I'm doing it. And you'll see that pretty soon, in a couple of weeks. You'll see a little more of that. Okay, bien? Vale?
Okay.
So, okay. So, me llamo, we're done with that one. We're gonna seg back to, I'm in this, anybody else? ¿Alguien más? No?
I can do it if you want.
Oh, okay. Perfecto.
Me llamo John. Soy de Scottsdale. Yo soy retirado.
Okay.
I saw it.
So, John, try for me the word jubilado, jubilado,
Yo soy jubilado.
jubilado. Okay, so let me show you. They will show you retirar in the dictionary for retired, but that means retired in the sense of withdrawn.
Oh,
Like, well, you kind of are when you're
I get it.
retired, aren't you? Yeah. Yeah. So, like, if you withdraw your kid from a class, you know, oh, my kid's not ready for calculus. I'm pulling him out of calculus. It's that kind of withdrawal. Okay. You know, and I don't know why, but that you know, almost everybody does this. So you're not the only one. You're not the first, and you won't be the last. The common word for state of retirement, you don't have to work anymore, is jubilado. Jubilado. Okay. ¿Hay más? Any more?
yo vive in McDowell Mountain Ranch.
Ah. Vivo. So to say I live,
Oh, excuse me.
it's vivo.
Evil.
Vivo, but see, you're close.
Yeah.
Vive means he lives or she lives. Vivo is I live. So llamo is I am called. Me llamo is I am called. Vivo with no me in front of it, just vivo, is I live.
Evil.
Okay. Yo solía ser garante de construcción.
O construcción. Construction.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay. Construcción. Difícil. Hard. Difícil. Okay. Muy bien. Gracias. Okay. Larry, ¿tienes algo?
Sí, me llamo Larry, soy de Scottsdale a través de Santa Barbara, a través de Minnesota.
Oh,
Estoy jubilado ahora, pero trabajé como vendedor de instrumentos médicos durante 25 años.
25 años, 25 años. Muy bien. Okay, está bien. A través means like across, you know, this via this. So he told us all the places he's lived. See? Bien. Okay. Vendedor. Now, this one I bet you looked up. Trabajé is I worked.
Yes.
And trabajé means past, meaning done, right? So I want you to check that out. This is an example where an accent mark at the end of that word means something, and it means he did it. It's indicating past and over with, right? But if he were to say, I work right now, it would be this word, trabajo. Trabajo. So notice something. You don't need to internalize this yet, but kind of put it in the back of the gray matter somewhere. Me llamo, my name is. Vivo, I live. Trabajo, I work, meaning right now. So if you want to say, I'm doing something right now, it's always going to end in an O. Well, most of the time it's going to end in an O. It doesn't for estoy. It doesn't for soy, right? But it does for a lot of verbs, okay? Muy bien. Hiciste bien. You did well. Okay. A ver. Bueno. Okay. Can we move on? Can we shift a little bit into just a little bit with numbers? A little bit with numbers. I want to carve out maybe 15 minutes for numbers and no more than that today because I want to get into some other things about ser and estar and tener. And I'm afraid we'll run out of time if I take too much time. But I do want to work numbers just a little bit, un poquito. I'm going to share this screen with you and see if, except of course it would help if I had my screen up, wouldn't it? I'm hoping I've got the right thing. Do you see the 4776, all those? See? Bien? Okay. Did we do all these top numbers together last time? Help me out a little bit.
Yes.
We did the top part, right? We're looking at the bottom, I believe, are we not?
Oh.
Okay, so let's review just a little bit. We're going to review by tens. By tens. And I'm going to remind you of one little pattern. You know, we had 10, 10. 20, and you remember the vein in your hand, right? 20. We had 30, 30. And we're looking now at 40 through, well, really, we'll get to 100, right? We're going to do a little bit of practice with that. And we'll save like a little blip for higher numbers for next week, because I don't want to like max out on numbers and do nothing but numbers for an hour and a half, you know, your eyes glaze over. Okay. From 30 to 99, we're going to go by tens. And anytime we add on another number like 40, 40, but 41, 42, 43, they're all going to follow that pattern that you see at the far right. Whatever digit is in that last place, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, up to 9, it's always going to be expressed as separate words. Y, which means and then the number. Y uno, y dos, y tres, y cuatro, y cinco. So that's why you've got this column at the far end. Okay. Everything from 30 to 40, 50, 60, right through 90. If I add another digit on to the 90, 97, 97, right? So 30, 40, 50, those all split off into 3 word segments, 90 and 7, okay? They don't get squashed together like the teens or squashed together like the 20s. You follow what I'm saying with that? Does that make sense? Entiende? See? Okay, vale. I want us to all try just the teen numbers separately to kind of get our ears going and our mouths moving the right way, okay? So sadly, think of quarantine with 40. Yeah, 40.
40.
40, bien. Okay, so we'll
40.
add that y uno, y dos, y tres, all those, okay? 50.
50.
50, bien. Okay, we're going to look at 60. Remember, you have to have 2 S sounds. 60.
60.
Muy bien.
60.
Next, we need a S and a T, like siete, 70.
70.
70. There was very little difference between 60 and 70. The only difference is the S and the T. They're very close, okay? 80.
80.
Muy bien, 80. 90.
90.
90. Okay, so all these are going to be very, very similar. And from once we get done with this bit, we're going to look at the adding the 100 to the double digits, right? We'll look at how to make things a 3-digit from there. Okay. And we're writing whatever the answer is for the math problem, right? We didn't do this part together, did we? No? Okay, yeah. Okay, I'm going to give you the math problem part. And you guys will give me the answer part, okay? So I fill in all the hard math problem. And when you hear a plus, when I need to say plus, you're gonna hear the word más, más. Más means more, but it's also used to say plus, más, okay? And then before I get to the answer, I'll have son, because something and something are, okay? 20 más 30 son, and you got the answer.
60.
50.
50.
50. The 50 is the part you'll give. Okay. Una vez más, one more time. 20 más 30 son
50.
50. Bueno. 45 más 2 son
57.
84.
40
Y
40
42.
y 7. 47. Everybody see that? 45. That's okay. We'll take a while to get into this. That's okay. 45 más 2 son 47.
57.
47. 47. 47. Right? 47, 47. 57, 57. So those are very different. Okay. 47, 47. Let's look at the next one. 78, or no, perdón. 77 más 7.
84.
84. 84. Muy bien. Ok, vale. Bueno. 40 más 25 son
65.
65. Muy bien. 65. 65. 25 más 30 son
55.
55. Bien. Okay. Now I'm going to have on this side, a la derecha, on the right, a la derecha. I'm going to have all menos, 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 menos. Not más, 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 but menos, 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 minus. Okay. 90 menos 8 son
82.
82. You guys are getting better at this, way better. 65 menos 10 son
55.
55. Perfecto. 55. Vale. 80 menos 4 son
76.
70. Make sure you have a 76.
Yes.
Y 6. Sí, y 6. 76. Ok. 78 menos 10 son
68.
68, perfecto, 68, 68, ¿ok? 99 menos 10 son
89.
89, 89. Ok. ¿Entienden? Understand that so far? ¿Sí?
Sí.
Bien, ok. Vale. Vamos a ver. We're going to take a look at.
Can I ask a quick question?
Sí, claro.
My street address is 87. So is it the white guy that did the street sign and forgot to put the Y in?
Oh,
Or did some people just kind of skip it?
it could be. There are, Fountain Hills was a very planned city. You know, like they planned all the names they were going to use for the various streets once they put them in. And my family has a running joke about, you know, every time we pass a city name, they go, is that a stupid name, Mom? Is that a stupid? Some of them make perfect sense. Some of them are like, it's kind of Spanglish, but I was like, oh, I kind of know what they meant, but it's like that came off badly, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, sometimes that happens. Sometimes people get it right and sometimes they don't, but you're probably right, Debbie. Okay. Bien. Vale, vamos. Okay. Let's take a look real quickly at some ads. Ooh. I don't think I got a chance to do too many ads with you guys last week, did I? Like newspaper ads with prices?
No.
I think not. Vamos a ver. Let me,
And we did phone numbers.
we did phone numbers. We're going to do some other stuff. It's a little more challenging. That's what I thought you guys did before. Ooh, vamos a ver, vamos a ver. I want to pick something that's like kind of mid-level here. Aquí. Aquí, por ejemplo, aquí, por ejemplo. Vamos a ver. We're going to do some cuánto cuesta, cuánto cuesta. I'm going to type the question in the box. Cuánto cuesta. Cuánto cuesta means how much does it cost? And you'll see it in a moment. Cuánto cuesta? How much does it cost? Cuánto cuesta? And I want you to give me the number, okay? When you're going to see the ad, it'll pop up on the screen. It'll have a bunch of things, and I'll like move around the thing I want you to look at with my cursor, okay? Because if I call it by name, you probably won't know the vocabulary for it. Anyway, okay. A ver, ¿cuánto cuesta? ¿Cuánto cuesta? ¿Cuánto cuesta? Vamos a ver. ¿Cuánto? ¿Cuánto cuesta? And leave out the 99. La silla de niños. The kitty chair, la silla de niños. ¿Cuánto cuesta?
29.
29. Cuesta 29, más o menos. ¿Sí? Cuesta casi 30, almost 30, right? Cuesta 29. Bien. ¿Cuánto cuesta?
49.
49, 49. ¿Cuánto cuesta?
69.
69. Cuesta 69. Muy bien. Un juguete, a toy. ¿Cuánto cuesta?
24.
24. Una cámara para bebés. Una cámara para bebés. ¿Cuánto cuesta?
8 y 9.
80, not 8. 80
y 9.
y 9. 89. Muy bien. Ok. Otra cosa aquí. Sí. ¿Pregunta? Question? No? Okay. Now some of these are going to be wind up being cuestan, because cuestan is plural. Let me take this off share for just a minute. I want you to look in the chat box how this is different. ¿Cuánto cuesta if I have something that's like pants which is plural, or shoes, which is plural. Instead of cuánto cuesta with an a at the end, it'll be cuánto cuestan. Oops. Here it comes in the chat box. Instead of cuánto cuesta, cuánto cuestan. When you hear a nut at the end of that verb, it means more than one thing. How much do they cost? Because shoes, you buy in a pair, pants, you buy 2 legs. Yeah, you know, okay. There you go. So that's what they do. Okay, so you're going to hear.
Does cuesta have gender? Is it cuesta?
No, it does not. So let me clarify something. This is a really good question. When you hear all masculine talking about nouns, all will signal masculine. When you hear feminine with nouns, it means gender. But when you hear all at the end of a verb, it doesn't mean gender. It means yo, I'm doing it. When you hear, and this is kind of confusing, isn't it? You have to think of like what the function of the word is. If you hear an or an as or an at the end of a verb, it doesn't mean gender. You know, the as means tú, you. The a means one thing. The an means more than one thing. And you'll see that in about 2 weeks. Yeah. Okay. So cuesta, questo, I don't use it for yo. You know, unless you're talking, I'm sad to say, prostituta, unless you're talking, people don't sell themselves unless, yeah, the oldest profession. Okay, so you don't hear it. It exists as a yo form in a dictionary, but you don't use it, right? So cuesta will mean it costs because it comes from an AR verb. So those in verbs, an o ending means yo, and a ending will mean it costs or it does something, right? Like that verb you used, trabajo, I work. Trabaja means he's working or she's working. But an a on a verb doesn't mean feminine. Verbs are never feminine or masculine in Spanish. Okay. They tell who does something, but they don't tell gender. So that's actually a really excellent question. Okay, let's take a quick look at some other things. And you're going to hear cuestan because we have some plural things here and some singular things here. Oh, una chaqueta, a jacket. ¿Cuánto cuesta? It's only one thing. ¿Cuánto cuesta la chaqueta? ¿Cuánto cuesta?
23.
23. Cuesta 23. Cuesta 23. Okay. But I'm going to switch to plural here because pantalones, pants. ¿Cuánto cuestan los pantalones? Pantalones, ¿cuánto cuestan?
31.
31. Cuestan 31. Okay. ¿Cuánto cuesta la chaqueta? How much does this jacket cost?
48.
48. Muy bien. ¿Cuánto cuesta la chaqueta de niños?
19.
19. Cuesta 19. Muy bien. ¿Cuánto cuestan los zapatos?
Cuestan los zapatos 35
¿Cuestan?
y 5.
Sí. Cuestan 35
35
hasta 38.
38.
Bien. ¿Cuánto cuesta la mochila? Backpack. ¿Cuánto cuesta la mochila?
32.
32.
Cuesta 32. Cuesta 32. ¿Cuánto cuestan los zapatos de adultos?
Los zapatos.
62.
Cuestan
Y dos.
62. You get the idea, right? 62. Okay, vale, bien. So here's what we're going to do. Lo que vamos a hacer. I'm going to play you a little video. We're just going to hear the introduction. We're not going to go like wild crazy on a lot of higher numbers, but we're going to see how the hundreds combine with other numbers, and then just what the 100 markers are, okay? And I'll give you 2 pages so you can see what those higher numbers look like, but we're not gonna, I'm not gonna assign those to practice yet for this week. We're gonna take those really, really slow, okay? Bien? And we're gonna watch only a part of this video. A ver, I need to peel off the video and peel off my Zoom. We're going to seg into this video part way. And what I want you to notice is he's going to use the word 100. And I want you to notice what happens with 103, 105, 111. People get confused with that little word y, and. You know, you got so used to 35, 46, 89, right? But you don't use e all the time. Whether or not you use e kind of depends on what's in the last digit marker, and you'll kind of see what I mean when you see the video. Okay, it'll make sense once you see the video. We're only going to watch a part of this. Okay.
100, 101.
Okay. And notice when he had 100, it's that shorty one, but that's only when it's 100, 100. Boom. That's it. Okay. Anything higher than 100 goes into ciento, that longer word. Okay. So we'll play this one more time.
Bien. Ahora 100, 101, 102, 103.
Do you hear an E in there?
No.
No. So watch what happens. Watch when the E does come in.
104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, etc. 100 is 100. Ciento is 100 and anything else. 100, 200.
Okay, now we're going to pause. Okay, so let me take it off for a minute. You're not going to start hearing E until you get into like 120s or 119. 119. 119. 125. 132. 143. 155. You see the pattern I'm doing? And you'll see that pattern from, I believe, from the little chart I'll send off for you. So just kind of start to assimilate that. He's going to show you just the next hundreds up next, okay? And we're not going to work those numbers super hard yet. We're just going to see what they are. So you start to get comfortable with it. But I don't want you to go crazy with practicing it really hard. There are going to start to be patterns with the hundreds. And there's only one of them in the hundreds that is weird, hard, and nobody likes it. And all the other ones are going to follow a pattern. So when you go to 200, we take ciento, we stick an S on the end of it to make it plural. Hundreds. And every multiple hundred, 200, 300, 400, 500, we'll get a cientos with an S at the end. And the little number just goes in front. Dos cientos. See that? Dos cientos. They're going to make sense and be like, that's logical until we get to the hard one. And I'm going to stop him there. Okay. So I'm going to back him up just a little bit. Oop.
100 is 100. Ciento is 100 and anything else. 100. 200.
200. Okay. Literally 200s. That's what it is.
300.
300s. 300. Yeah. No E yet, right? Because we don't need it.
400.
400s. 400. Yay. This looks pretty easy. Here comes the nasty one that nobody likes. 200, 300, 400. You think the next one ought to be 500, and it's not. Okay, we had cinco, we had 15, 15. Remember 15? It's going to go back to that keen thing, but then it's going to do other funky things, which is why nobody likes this number.
500.
500. Here's the only hard one in the bunch of the hundreds. 500. Keen, like keen. So think keen. Wow, that's keen. 15, but we cut the se part off. Keen. And cientos, plural, but we cut the C off of the ciento. This is weird. Nobody likes this word. I had kids who studied this 3 years in the word and 3 years in a row, and you know they had to say the number 1525. It's like, oh no, señora, I hate this word. I always forget this word. 500. 500. Okay, try this one with me. 500. 500. Yeah. Take it apart. Keen. 500. 500. Okay. 500. And now we're going to let it go up. Now it's going to go back to, this will make more sense.
Como 15.
Like 15.
600.
Oh, yay. 600. We're back to the old pattern.
700.
Like 70. So 600 stayed 6, but 7, we dropped the I from the 7, and it becomes 7, like 70. 700. Okay?
800.
Yay, 800.
800.
Nobody hates that one. 800.
800.
900. Como
900.
Like 90. 900 like 90. 900. Okay? Bien. So let's take them all in. Whoa. In order. Okay. Repitan. 200.
200.
300.
300.
300.
400.
400.
400. Here comes the bad one. 500.
500.
500. That's the hard one. That will take a while.
500.
500.
600.
600.
700.
700,
700,
como 70, 800,
800,
900,
900.
900,
Okay, we're going to get to 1,000 and then we're going to stop it there.
90,
1000. 1000.
1000,
So metric system, milliliters, right?
Mil.
Yeah. Milligrams when you're measuring small amounts, right? Mil. And mil will always be mil. So cientos went to plural, right? For 200, 300, 400, but mil will always be mil, very consistently. Now, I am not going to go crazy on you with 20,000, 30,000, 40,000, but here's all you need to know. If I want to say 20,000, it's 20 with mil after it. That's it. 20,000, 10,000, 5,000, 5,000. That's all it is. Okay. And we're not going to get into million and all that because you're unlikely to need those kind of high numbers. You're unlikely to need it. I will send you this video, and when you get far enough, I would say skip over all the million stuff and that, but he's going to get to a segment here where he puts up 3 numbers and he's going to say a number. What he says is one of those 3. And see if you can pick which one it is. You'll listen to this later, okay?
Cool.
So it'll be a listening dictation. Do I understand the number he said? Yeah?
Yeah.
That's going to be your practice. We'll do that next week. But I'll just say the number and you won't visually see it on the screen the way he shows you. So this is the easier way, right? I know it's one of these 3, what he's saying. And always know when you do this, hit the pause button if you need to sit and think about it or back it up and have him say it again. Yeah, okay?
Yeah.
And we're going to leave it for there. And that'll be something for you to do on your own as kind of, just follow up. Vale? We good?
See?
Muy bien? Okay. Bueno. Okay. We're going to shift gears a little bit out of numbers. I will send you a numbers page and you'll see those higher numbers, but don't feel like you got to fill out any of the forms yet. We'll work on those little by little. All right. Bien. Vamos a hablar un poquito. We're going to talk a little bit about this business with ser and estar, because ser and estar are, wow, they're going to become the 2 forms of to be. Yeah. Okay. And you used, you heard a couple people using estar, right? Estar is to be for how you feel or where you are. That's why we use estar, right? For how you feel and where you are, always use the verb estar. And we're going to look at just the forms of it first. So I'm going to share this screen with you, just the forms. You're not going to have to figure out, do I use ser or do I use estar? Just the forms of estar, right? And again, this is what we call an irregular verb. We're going to use this in the sense of location. Estar with location. Estar also talks about health or emotions, how you feel. So when you identified yourself, soy Larry, soy David, soy Danita, you're using ser, you're identifying yourself. Okay? But when you say where you're located, you need to use this verb instead. Estoy en Scottsdale, right? We're going to look at just the forms. Estoy. Repitan. Estoy.
Estoy.
Estás.
Estás.
Está.
Está.
That's for talking about somebody, he or she, right? Or for the formal usted, usted está, right? ¿Cómo está usted? How are you? Feeling is the implication, right? ¿Cómo está usted? How are you? You're asking how somebody feels, what their health is like. ¿Cómo está usted? ¿Cómo estás? How are you? In the friendly expression, right? So you've seen these before. You've heard them before. The nosotros form has a mos at the end of it. At the end of it, estamos. Repitan, estamos. Estamos. Okay. Estáis is just used with vosotros. Vosotros is the plural of tú, only in Spain. So we're going to skip over that. And then for they, talking about a group of people, no matter how many, as long as I'm not in the group, if I'm talking about them, it's going to be están. Están. Repitan, están. Okay. Ellos están. Ellas están. Ustedes están.
Ustedes están.
Okay.
Están.
Ooh, I'm getting it. Can you guys hear me? I'm getting a message. My internet is blipping on me a little bit. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, bien. Okay, we're going to take a look at just forms of estar first to see if you can figure out which form of estar you need to fill in the blank. We're going to look at who's doing the action. And I know you're not doing anything if it's estar, but yeah. Who's the subject, right? And somebody says, Buenos dias, Susana. Good morning, Susan. And they use her first name. So they're talking to her. How are you?
¿Cómo está?
¿Cómo estás?
¿Cómo estás? With an S at the end.
¿Cómo estás?
¿Cómo estás? Probably not ¿cómo está? Because if you're talking to her and you're using her first name, Susana, that means you're on a tú communication level. You're calling her you with the word tú. And you need the verb to say the tú form. ¿Cómo estás?
¿Cómo estás?
Right?
¿Cómo está?
If I used her last name, then I would say ¿Cómo está usted? How are you? Okay. We're going to talk about where books are located. Biblioteca, library. Los libros, we're going to say the books are in the library. Los libros
Libros
Están.
están
Están.
en la biblioteca. Los libros están en la biblioteca. I want you to notice that when we use are in, estar often has the word en after it. Not all the time, but often. En is going to tell me a place. En is going to signal a place, right? Concentrados, number 3. Concentrados means focused. It means, wow, I am focused. I am in this state of mind. Nosotros
Estamos.
estamos concentrados.
Concentrados.
We're kind of like, we're in the zone.
Uh-huh.
We're in this state of mind, okay? Ocupado means busy. It's a state that changes. Sometimes you're busy, sometimes you're not. It's very changeable. So we use estar, and we're conjugating it for usted.
Estás.
Está.
Estás usted ocupado.
Está usted.
Está.
Está usted ocupado. Are you busy? Está usted ocupado? Okay. If you answer that, you're going to answer in the yo form. It's in parentheses because most people will drop it. They'll only use the verb. And if you say, no, I'm not busy. No,
Estoy.
estoy. No estoy ocupado. And to make it I'm not, we just put no in front of estoy. No estoy ocupado. No estoy ocupado.
No estoy ocupado.
No
Bien.
estoy ocupado.
Okay, now we're going to have a how we feel word. This word cansada means tired.
Yo cansada.
And
Estoy.
tired is a description, so it's a feminine or masculine. Oh, the person saying yo is a lady because they're using cansada, tired. This is a description, not a verb. We're going to plug the verb in.
Estoy.
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 Yo estoy cansada. Yo estoy cansada. And I want you to notice that this description is feminine because whoever is the yo is a feminine person. They're using cansada. A description goes feminine depending on the person, but the verb is just yo or tú or él, ella, usted. And notice that está form, está doesn't change because it's a guy or a gal, does it? It's just está. So verbs don't go feminine if it's a lady doing it. Therefore, one person doing it, whether it's a guy, él, or a gal, ella, it's still está. So a description, ocupado, will go masculine, feminine, but the verb won't go masculine, feminine. Does that make sense? Because this question came up. Larry had this question. It was really good because he was thinking, wow, I've seen these O's and A's and they meant something else. They did in that sense. Okay. Yo estoy muy cansada. Oh, we're going to ask, where's the clock? Reloj is clock. It can mean a watch. Está.
¿Dónde está el reloj?
¿Dónde está? When you want to ask for where is something, this verb está is important. ¿Dónde está? ¿Dónde está? Where is it? ¿Dónde está el reloj? I want to know where the bank is. ¿Dónde está el banco? I want to know where the hospital is. Oh, God forbid. ¿Dónde está el hospital? Right? I want to know where the pharmacy is. I need to buy some kind of medicine. ¿Dónde está la farmacia?
La farmacia.
Está. Where is it? Where is it? Okay, farmacia is one thing, right? Hospital is one thing. Banco, bank is one thing. ¿Dónde está? ¿Dónde está? ¿Dónde está? Where is it? Bien? So this está verb is really important. Really important. When you want to say where is a kind of building, it's ¿dónde está? Bien? Okay. ¿Dónde está el reloj? Where is the clock? I want to say it's on the wall. Pared means wall. So I answer, it's on the wall.
Está.
Está en la pared. It never gets translated. It's just está. Está by itself means it is. And you don't need the word it. Está, it is. Está. Está en la pared. Okay. Does that make sense before I move on? See? Okay. Let's move on to, oh, are you guys at home? Not, I want you to notice, not in the house, en la casa, but at home, en casa. En casa, without the la, en casa is home.
Casa.
Are you guys at home? ¿Cómo se dice? How do you say that?
Están
Están.
ustedes en casa.
Están ustedes en casa. Are you guys home? Are you guys at home? En casa. En always tells you stationary in a place. It's signaling in this place, not moving around. Okay? Están ustedes en casa? And we're going to say, nope, we're in school, en la escuela. No, nosotros
Estamos en la escuela.
estamos en la escuela. We're in school. Are you guys home? Nope, we're at school. Estamos en la escuela. Bien. Now we're going to use a description. Pálida looks like pallid. That's what it means. Pallid is a fancier word for pale. All the colors drained out of your face. Somebody doesn't always look that way. If they're not feeling so great, they might look really pálida. And it's Maria. So pálida is describing Maria, a gal. So pálida goes into a feminine word, but the verb won't be feminine. The verb is just whatever form of estar. Está. She's one person. Maria está pálida. And we're going to say she's got a cold. Resfriada means the condition of having a cold. That kind of cold. Porque means because. Porque está resfriada. Pálida indicates a changeable coloring that won't always be the same, changes real easily. Resfriada indicates health. She's got a congested head cold, okay? Está resfriada. You see that word fría buried in the middle of resfriada, but that means like all congested, all blocked up. Está resfriada, okay?
Está resfriada.
Here comes a word that is a temporary condition. Embarazada looks like,
Embarrassed.
but it's not. Embarazada, this is the big mistake word that all English speakers have a hard time with. Embarazada means pregnant.
Oh.
You're never going to see it as embarazado because a man cannot be pregnant. But is that a temporary condition?
What?
We sure hope so. Yes, we hope that's temporary, 9 months. Okay, Cristina
Está
está embarazada. Cristina está embarazada. She is pregnant. Okay, that's a changeable condition. Now we're going to talk location. Sevilla, and we've got an N, and sur. Sur means south. Norte is north, sur is south. Sevilla is a city, and we're talking about its location. For how you feel or where you are, even if it's a city, where it is location. So we're going to use estar. Sevilla
Está en el sur de
en el sur de
España.
España. Sevilla, Seville, está en el sur de España. It's in the south of Spain. Okay, now we're going to talk about a different city. Bogotá is only one city, and it's centro, right in the center. So, Bogotá
Está
está
Centro de Colombia.
en el centro de Colombia. It doesn't matter that the location is permanent or temporary. Location, estar. Location, estar. Okay? I'm going to say she's not at, and colegio is high school or junior high. Colegio, not college. College, as we call it, is universidad, university. But colegio would mean a high school kid. Somebody between 12 or 13 till they graduate from high school would be colegio age, okay? And we're going to say not that she's at high school, but she's not in the high school. Ella no
está
en el colegio
porque
porque
Vacaciones.
está de vacaciones. She's not in high school because she's on
vacaciones.
Vacaciones.
on vacation is considered kind of a location thing. It's also temporary. We're not always on vacation. Even when we're jubilado, we're not always on vacation, right? Okay. Ella no está en el colegio porque está de vacaciones, because she's on vacation. We're going to say they're in the hospital. Ellos
Están
están en el hospital. They're in the hospital. It's a location, it's a place. Ellos están en el hospital, and we're going to say they're sick. It's a changeable state. Enfermos. ¿Por qué? Because, porque
Están enfermos.
están enfermos. Están enfermos because they are sick. And notice that enfermos is plural because it describes ellos, they. But enfermos is not a verb, it's a description, the word sick. Ellos están en el hospital porque están enfermos. ¿Bien?
Bien.
Okay, magnífico. And the last one is a vosotros, saying only in Spain. Vosotros estáis concentrados. I don't care that you use it, vosotros or not. Okay, vale. So, estar, bien? Let's look at some examples with both ser and estar. We're going to have some cues. Oh, and I'm right on target. Magnifico. I've been behind in a lot of my lessons this week. Okay. Think of ser as the essence or core of whatever that thing is to identify. And estar is a state, how you feel or where you are. How you feel or where you are, always use the verb estar. If I want to identify these people, if I want to tell who they are, try to make this bigger.
Obey.
I want to tell where she's from. I want to use
Alemania.
Angela Merkel. Oh, is that the way to spell Merkel? ¿Cómo se escribe Merkel? Sí, bien. You know who I mean. Angela Merkel es de Alemania. Es de Alemania.
Es de Alemania.
Does that tell me where she is or where she's from?
Where she's from.
Where she's from.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to further identify Angela. Angela es alemana. She is a German lady. Angela Merkel es from Alemania. Angela es alemana. Angela es ministra del gobierno. She's a minister of the government, okay? I'm just telling what she is, right? Who she is, what she does, where she's from. But now I want to say she's with the French guy.
Macron.
Con. And con is going to tell me she's in a space. Macron. El hombre. El hombre es el señor Macron. Macron. The man is Mr. Macron. See?
Sí.
Macron
Es
de Francia.
Francia.
Es de Francia. Macron es el presidente de Francia. I'm just identifying who he is. I want to say they're both in France. ¿Cómo se dice? They are in France.
Ellos están en France.
Ellos
En Francia. Ellos están en Francia. Ellos están en París. Maybe I want to talk about the fact that they get along pretty okay. All right. And they're happy. They're happy to meet each other. Is happy who they are or how they feel?
They feel.
How they
Happy is
feel.
how they feel. I'm going to say they are happy because they're having a good meeting. Ellos están
Contentos.
contentos. Están contentos.
So you wouldn't say ustedes están contentos, huh?
I won't use ustedes, no.
Okay.
If I were a reporter, Danita, this is a good example. If I were a reporter and I had a microphone in my hand and I would ask, are you guys happy with your meeting? And I'm talking to the two of them, then I would use ustedes.
Okay.
I might say, una reunión importante, an important meeting. Una reunión importante. ¿Están ustedes contentos? Are you guys happy? ¿Están ustedes contentos con la reunión? Are you happy with the meeting? And then I would use ustedes because I'm a reporter and I'm looking at both of them in the eye and I'm talking to them, getting an interview. Yeah? That's when I use ustedes. But ustedes means you guys, in this case, the two of them, but it still uses the same kind of verb form, right? As ellos, as ellas. Bien? We're good with that so far? Bien, okay. So, ellos están en Francia, ellos están en París, another location. Ellos están contentos. I could even say, Ángela está con we'll just call him Macron. She's with Macron. Está con. That con with is telling me a space she's in, right? I'm not saying she is Mr. Macron. I can't use ser there. It's está. Start to see how we use these both together? Okay. Bien. Let's take a look at these guys. Okay. ¿Saben quiénes son? Do you know who these people are?
Nope.
No. Oh, darn.
No.
We'll find a page where you do know who they are. ¿Saben quiénes son? Do you know who they are?
Sí.
Okay. Yeah. Remember, some of these I use with teenagers. The teenagers will all know this guy. But yeah.
Who is it?
Oh, Ryan Reynolds. They say, ooh, muy guapo. They go, ooh, muy guapo. He's really handsome. Yeah. Es actor. He's an actor. Es actor. Okay. Bueno. Okay. Vamos a ver. You know these guys. Ustedes saben quiénes son. You guys know who they are. Okay. Bien. Let's look at, let's identify one of these guys and let's use ser. Let me just say, el hombre.
El hombre es.
El hombre, and I'm going to tell you on the left. El hombre a la izquierda es. The man on the left. El hombre a la izquierda es.
Roger.
Federer.
Federer es Roger Federer. Let's talk about Roger. Vamos a hablar de Roger. Roger es famoso. He's
famous.
Roger es tenista. He's a tennis player. Roger es gran campeón. He's a great
Grand champion. Campeón.
Okay. Roger es muy rico.
Very rich.
Very rich.
He's very rich. And now I'm going to drop Roger. You don't want to keep reporting Roger, 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 Roger. No, no, we don't want to do that. Ooh, it won't let me do a capital and that. Él es muy rico. He is very rich. Es, and I'm going to drop the L because I don't need the L anymore. You know I'm talking about him. Es de Suiza.
From Switzerland.
He's from Switzerland. Okay. El hombre a la derecha
On the right.
es
Rafael Nadal.
Rafa
Nadal.
Nadal. Es famoso. Es famoso. Es
También.
famoso y rico.
Famous and rich.
Sí, 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 claro. Es de España.
From Spain.
Es de España. Bien. También, which means also,
So,
también es campeón.
Also a champion.
He's also a champion. ¿Cómo se dice? How would we say? They are tennis players. Both of them, the two of them. They are.
están.
Hello, son.
Is tennis players how they feel or where they are, or is that what they do?
It's what they do.
They do.
No
It's
occupation.
identifying. Ellos, do I use están or son? Están
Son.
or son?
Son.
Son.
Son. Ellos son tenistas.
Can you just say son tenistas?
You can just say son tenistas. Son tenistas. Son tenistas famosos. Son tenistas famosos.
Ricosos.
Y son ricos. Son ricos.
Ricos.
Son europeos. They are
European.
European. Let's say they're at a tournament. I'm going to give you the word torneo. Torneo means a tournament. I want to say now they're at a tournament. ¿Cómo se dice they're at a tournament? Son or están?
Están.
Están.
It'll need to be están. Why would it need to be están?
Where they are.
It's a location. It's a place they're at, right? Están en un torneo. They're in a tournament. Let's say they're in a stadium. Están en un estadio grande. Están en un estadio grande. ¿Ok? Están en un torneo. Están en un estadio grande. They're in a big stadium. Location, location. Let's say están en, that looks like Wimbledon to me. Están en el estadio de Wimbledon because they're wearing white. That's how you can always tell. Wimbledon requires white. Ropa blanca, ropa blanca. They kick you out if you don't wear white clothing there. Están en el estadio de Wimbledon. Bien? You starting to see how we use ser and estar? Okay. Bien, bien. Okay. We'll come back to this another time. We'll come back to this to do more examples another time. I want to show you that different verb. which is not estar and not ser, but tener. Tener means to have. Okay, oops. Tener means to have. We're going to take a quick look. ¿Dónde está? Here it is. Aquí está. Here it is. Aquí está. I'm going to see if I can make this a little bit bigger. No, that makes it smaller. How bizarre. Okay, let's take a quick look. We're going to watch, we're not going to watch a quick video. You're going to, we'll watch a snippet of a video. Yeah, okay. Not soy, not estoy, but tengo.
Tengo.
I have. Okay. Tengo. I have. Tengo.
Tengo.
It's an oddball form. Again, this verb is extremely irregular. When you look at tener, some verbs in Spanish end in AR, some end in IR, some end in ER. Whoops. Tener is what they call an ER verb, but it follows not the normal pattern of all ER verbs. Okay, so the yo form is tengo. A G comes from out of nowhere. I don't see a G anywhere in tener, and neither do you. So, okay, the G just comes out there, and it's the yo form, tengo. I have. It means I own something. Tengo un libro. Tengo papeles. Tengo gafas. Bien. Tengo un reloj. I have. I own stuff. Okay. Here's the form for tú if you're talking to somebody. Familiar way. Tienes. It sounds like tennis, but it's not. Tienes. Tienes. Here's the, and we just take the S off to talk about one person, like él, like ella, like usted. And it becomes, instead of tienes with an S at the end, tiene. Tiene. That's all it is. Tiene. Okay. The nosotros for form is like tengo, tenemos. Tenemos. We have. Okay. We're going to skip the vosotros. Here's the ellos, the ellas, the ustedes. All three of those use the same verb. Tienen. Tienen. Okay. Tienen. So those are the forms of tener. Now, what the little video is going to show you is that we use tener. It's going to show you how to use it. This part was not in your book. It was not in your book. I'm going to seg to a quick part.
Ya tiene.
I'm just going to show you what this looks like. You're going to watch it on your own. Do you see that right there? Ella tiene 70 años. Everybody see that? Okay. Use it to say that someone has a certain number of years. That means we're talking about their age. Now that doesn't make sense. It's not translatable. So besides talking about somebody has an item like glasses, like a watch, we use it in certain phrases that are not translatable. Okay, so you'll need to watch the video to see about other ways we use tener. We use it to talk about age. We use it to say I'm hungry. In Spanish, you have a number of years. In Spanish, you have hunger. In Spanish, you have thirst. So in other words, where we say I am thirsty, you won't use soy and you won't use estoy, you'll use tengo. I have a number of years, I have thirst, I have hunger. I know, it just is, okay?
It is.
I feel cold. It will use tener. Tengo frío. I feel hot. tengo calor.
Tengo calor.
By the way, never, never, never use estar with this word or with caliente, because it means something really icky. Okay, I'll explain next week. I am sleepy. We use tener. So I am scared. We use tener. So we do use tener to say you have things, but we also use it in these phrases you can't translate literally because in the English brain, it makes no sense. But I'm going to have you watch that to understand what happens with tener. Okay, ¿Está bien? Are we good with that
Mhm.
so far? Okay, so you are going to review that tener thing. I am going to send to you a little module that will use tener with some of that La Casa vocabulary. And I'll show you what this looks like. It will look like this. And we're going to start to see many, many different verbs. I and tiene and está. It's going to play a video for you. Like you don't have to go to a separate site. You'll just click on that. It'll play the video for you. It'll play a different video about La Casa and vocabulary. I'm going to tell you about words that I like for bedroom, because one thing that he talks about in this video is that there are different words for bedroom, and different countries or different regions kind of flip-flop on which words they prefer for bedroom. The two that I really like are either habitación or cuarto. So I just put that in as a separate slide. I want you to try this. You're going to say, oh my gosh, that's impossibly small. No, it isn't, because you're going to click on it and it becomes big. And you're going to see a floor plan. And it shows you, like, you can count up how many bedrooms, how many bathrooms, and where it says great room, we'll call that sala. Yeah. Okay. La sala. So you're going to use that drawing, that general drawing, and I want you to talk to me and just give me a little description about what that room is like. You know, like it has a kitchen, it has this many bathrooms or however many it has, right? You'll count them up. And write a few sentences. You might use I, you know, like hay un comedor, there's just a dining room, but maybe it's got multiple bedrooms, maybe it's got multiple bathrooms, right? So write a little description, and you'll have to scroll down. Type your little description here, and down here, record what you wrote. Short, not a term paper. Short description. Yeah? Yeah? Are we good with that so far? Okay. Am I giving you too much if I give you one more video to watch? Okay. I'm going to give you one more video to watch. I was going to have you read the next chapter, but I think instead of that, I'm going to give you a video to watch that's going to start to talk about descriptions, because it will talk about what's in that chapter, but it does it in a much less painful way. How's that? It's going to talk about descriptions, and it will only use the theme of colors. So it's going to talk about descriptions of things, not verbs, descriptions of things, and how we describe them by color. Okay, and that's in the next chapter, but it's a segment of the next chapter. You follow me? Yeah? Okay. And you'll see all kinds of colorful charts. And they'll describe things according to colors. And when you see it visually, it will make sense. And it will make sense about how things go into a masculine or a feminine form. Because remember, descriptions are not verbs. Verbs are action words. Tener is an action word. Estar is an action word. Ser is an action word. They are verbs. But these descriptions will go into, again, that gender and the number forms. Okay, ¿está bien? Are we good with that?
Yeah.
Okay, vale. You know, if you want to peek a little in the next chapter, that's okay, but I want you to kind of get a feel for it, and I want you to work with that little description on la casa. Okay? Are we good with that, or do you have any questions? ¿Hay preguntas? No? 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 Okay. Muy bien. And I'll send you all those links in the recap so you can get into all of that and do that. And I'll see you next Tuesday. Hasta martes. Sign up is going. The step 2 class, which is the class after this. I know for sure it will run because it already has, I don't know, maybe 10 people in it. So for sure that is running. And so if you still want to sign up, you can still sign up if you're going to be around. And so that is out there. And that's about it. Eso es todo. Okay? ¿Está bien?
Do you have time for a quick question?
I sure do.
So you gave us a description of ellos son tenistas. They
Mhm.
are tennis stars.
Sí,
So
sí.
that use ser. But
Yes.
in my description for myself, I said estoy jubilado. Why is it estoy there and not soy there?
Okay. I'm going to type you a quick description. Soy jubilado. I am a retired guy. I'm a guy. I'm telling who I am.
Always a guy.
Oh, it's like saying this. Oh, it's like saying this. It's like saying this. Soy jubilado means this. I am a retiree. I'm identifying myself as a human being. Okay? But if I say estoy jubilado, I am retired, and it's the state I'm in, a non-working state. Jubilado with estoy is a description.
Okay.
That's kind of subtle. Yeah. But is jubilado really a job?
Yeah, it is.
Then you could look at that as soy jubilada. Estoy jubilado. I am retired. I am in the state of, yeah, that's, and most, so like tenista is an actual tennis player. So that's not a description. Jubilado can be used as both a noun and as a description. When I use it as soy jubilado, I'm using jubilado as a noun, retired person. When I use jubilado with estar, estoy jubilado, I am retired in that state. That's one of the hardest uses.
Contenta.
Estoy muy contenta. Estoy muy contenta. I feel. Porque estoy jubilada, because I am retired. Okay? Estoy, you'll probably hear it a little more as estoy jubilado and estoy jubilada, but it can be used both ways. It's one of those double-edged swords. Okay. Bien? Magnífico.
Gracias.
De nada, como siempre. De nada, como siempre. Un placer, a pleasure. Okay, nos vemos la semana que viene. I'll see you next week.
Hasta luego.
See, you're going to work numbers a little. You're going to watch the Tenere video and watch the description video. Bien, do my little bathroom thing here. Bye.
Gracias.
Hasta luego.